This is a
rising.
major
I think
attack.
In a breathtaking turn of events, an incredible miracle has unfolded in the holy city of Jerusalem. Witnesses have reported a stunning sight, heavenly angels appearing in the skies, their radiant forms illuminating the heavens and filling believers with awe and trembling reverence. This extraordinary event has ignited urgent conversations among Christians and religious scholars alike, who view it as a staggering sign that we may indeed be living in the prophesied end times. Could this miraculous appearance be the divine announcement of the nearing second coming of Jesus Christ? The undeniable glory of this moment, so vividly visible, echoes the ancient prophecies of Scripture. With hearts racing and spirits uplifted, the faithful are reminded of the Bible's powerful promises and warnings. Is this a heavenly sign, pointing toward the fulfillment of God's ultimate plan for humanity? Let's turn our attention to Jerusalem, where this shocking event is unfolding. In the ancient storied streets of this holy city, where history and prophecy are as intertwined as the stones beneath its footpaths, an unprecedented event has left the city breathless with awe and apprehension. As the sun began its slow descent over the horizon, casting long amber shadows across the bustling marketplace, a mysterious image appeared. It would soon ignite fervent discussions and stir the hearts of both believers and skeptics alike. The miraculous sighting began with a lone security camera perched atop a weathered building near the gates of the old city. The camera, designed to capture the mundane details of daily life and provide a measure of safety, became an unlikely witness to something extraordinary as the crimson and gold hues of the setting sun illuminated the sky. An ethereal figure materialized within the camera's frame. Those who later saw the footage described it as an angelic apparition, a being of light and grace, its form shimmering like the reflection of the moon on still waters. With wings seemingly made of the purest light, the figure hovered above the ancient streets, radiating an aura that held both mystery and peace. Word of the sighting spread quickly, rippling through the city like wildfire. Jerusalem, a place steeped in religious significance and ancient prophecies, was no stranger to tales of miracles. Yet this image, captured by modern technology, a simple security camera, seemed to bridge the gap between the ancient and the contemporary, between the seen and the unseen. Soon, the image, unclear yet unmistakably otherworldly, found its way onto television screens, smartphones, and international newspapers. People from all walks of life, from devout believers to curious tourists, began gathering near the location where the image had been seen, their eyes searching the sky for any hint of the divine. The streets, usually filled with the bustling sounds of traders and travelers, grew eerily quiet as the news began to sink in. A strange, palpable tension filled the air, an undeniable awareness that something beyond the ordinary was unfolding. The sun, still glowing a deep orange, seemed to linger just a little longer than usual. As if it too were pausing to witness this celestial event, people stood frozen in place, their heads tilted upwards, their conversations reduced to hushed whispers. Some saw the apparition as a sign of protection, an angelic guardian watching over Jerusalem during a time of uncertainty. Others, more skeptical, dismissed it as a trick of the light, perhaps an unusual reflection from a nearby building or a malfunction in the camera's software. But those who were there, those who felt the sudden shift in the atmosphere, knew that something far more profound had taken place. It wasn't just the image that stirred them, but the deep, inexplicable feeling that accompanied it, a sensation of both serenity and unease, as if the heavens themselves were drawing near, brushing against the edges of the physical world. In the local community, deeply rooted in its faith and traditions, conversations turned to prophecy, as many wondered if this angelic vision marked the beginning of something far greater, an unfolding chapter in the divine plan. The entire world is watching as Jerusalem, a city that has already witnessed the most pivotal events in human history, will soon become the epicenter of the final battle between good and evil, light and darkness. The prophet Zechariah foretold a day when the nations of the earth would gather against Jerusalem in a great and terrible conflict. Yet, in that moment of darkness, God himself will intervene to save his people. Zechariah 14:3 declares, "Then the Lord will go out and fight against those nations, as when he fights on a day of battle." The stage is being set for this final showdown, and Jerusalem will be the battleground where God's justice and righteousness will ultimately triumph. For believers, this knowledge calls for urgent preparation. Now is the time to align our hearts and lives with God's purposes. It is a time to seek holiness, deepen our relationship with Christ, and remain watchful as the prophetic clock ticks ever closer to midnight. Jesus himself warned us in Matthew 24 to be ready, for the day and hour of his return are unknown. But the signs are unmistakable. Jerusalem's increasing prominence in world events is one of those signs, a beacon pointing toward the fulfillment of God's redemptive plan. This is not a time for complacency or distraction, but rather a time of hope and expectation. Just as Jerusalem's walls are being rebuilt and its ancient stones restored, so too must our faith be fortified in preparation for what lies ahead. Jerusalem stands as a powerful symbol of God's faithfulness. Despite centuries of destruction, conquest, and exile, the city endures, much like the promises of God. In the same way that Jerusalem was restored after the Babylonian exile, so too will it be restored in the final days as the city of the great king. The book of Nehemiah recounts the physical restoration of Jerusalem's walls, but what we see now is a preparation for the spiritual restoration that will accompany Christ's return. God has not forgotten his promises to Jerusalem, and he has not forgotten his promises to his people. The trials and tribulations the city has faced are but birth pangs, heralding the new age that will dawn when Jesus sets foot on the Mount of Olives, just as the angel promised the disciples after his ascension. As witnesses of Christ's love and truth, we are called to be ambassadors of the coming kingdom and intercessors for the city of Jerusalem. In Isaiah 62, 6, 7, the prophet exhorts, "I have posted watchmen on your walls, Jerusalem. They will never be silent day or night. You who call on the Lord, give yourselves no rest, and give him no rest till he establishes Jerusalem and makes her the praise of the earth." This divine call to prayer and intercession is more urgent than ever. As the days grow darker and the return of Christ draws nearer, believers must be vigilant, standing as spiritual watchmen on the walls of Jerusalem, praying for the peace and redemption of the city, and preparing for the day when Christ will return to claim his throne. Jerusalem also serves as a powerful symbol of hope for believers. Just as the city has been restored after times of devastation, so too will God restore all things when Christ returns. The trials and tribulations we face in this life are temporary, but the glory that will be revealed in us is eternal. The focus on Jerusalem is a call to lift our eyes above the struggles of this world and place our hope firmly in God's promises. Jerusalem stands as a testament to God's enduring covenant with his people. As the city will one day be restored and glorified, so too will we, as God's children, be raised to new life in his eternal kingdom. Jerusalem is not just a city of the past, it is the city of the future, the epicenter of God's redemptive plan for humanity. Believers are called to focus on Jerusalem not only because of its rich spiritual heritage, but because of its prophetic significance. The events that will unfold in Jerusalem in the last days are of paramount importance, and believers must be spiritually prepared for what is to come. The call to focus on Jerusalem is a call to hope, a call to prayer, and a call to prepare for the day when Christ will return in glory to establish his kingdom. The time is short, and the signs are clear. Jerusalem's spiritual significance shines like a beacon of light in a darkening world, reminding us of the ultimate victory that awaits when Christ returns to make all things new. Let us, therefore, keep our eyes fixed on Jerusalem and our hearts set on the promise of redemption that the city represents. Well, that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this content, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.